Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are the Plucky Twins. That's a new nickname. The Plucky Twins. The Wonder Twins, the Plucky Twins.
Yes.
The Pluck Brothers.
Right.
The Pluck Brothers. That is good. The Pluck Brothers.
That's like a folk band.
The builder and tinker of things, Jomi the explainer, Adeniran. You got questions, he's got answers. Old man Van here, the receiving researcher hairline. Cold Baby Chuck, the 24-karat closer. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. We'll be back right after this. All right, follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Jomi.
TikTok don't even work right now, so we can't even post on TikTok.
Why doesn't it work?
Wait, I have no ideas. No. So Oracle
you
locked
posted
in
anti-ice stuff.
I posted regular stuff.
And they kicked
were
you
like,
off
cool.
TikTok.
Check this out. Our video has more likes than views. How is that possible? Who knows?
So TikTok is not working for the Midnight Boys right now.
God!
We are on the right side of history. We're also on YouTube, though, which we hope is working. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and House of Art episode on youtube.com/@Ringerverse. Also, on Spotify on Sundays, Talk to Thrones is back.
Yeah.
They got a good show to talk about.
Yes,
Night
sir.
of the Seven Kingdoms.
Talking about them thrones.
Mal, Joanna, and Chris returning to Westeros for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, shall I say, on Thursday. Bud Mash continues their coverage of Fallout Season 2. All right, on today's show, we got a full season of television to talk about. And boy, am I excited. I'm jammed up.
Yeah.
We're talking about Wonder Man. But before we talk about Wonder Man, we have to talk about some new trailers. There's a trailer
I need you
drop.
to stand on the shit.
Stand on
I don't want to
Some
see
nasty
Hollywood
lying.
man. You gotta
Hollywood.
stand on the shit.
Some nasty
Hollywood.
lying for that happen.
Let's do it. Chuck, take it away. Nerd News.
All right, so Nerd News is here. We got a lot of great trailers over the AFC NFC weekend. The first one I want to bring up because my man Van has some thoughts. We got the Odyssey trailer. Fucking Travis Scott is in this bitch. Straight up. It's the reactions to the new TV spot for the Odyssey.
Okay, so concerning trailer.
Agreed.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Wait, let's paint the scene because we're all like Van, Kalika throw a great yearly tradition, AFC, NFC at your house.
Championship Sunday.
Now,
Great time.
In between you forcing us to watch the history of Cuba.
That you cannot describe enough how crazy his YouTube algorithm is.
He just had Mexican. And you're like, I don't know why.
That's
I
in
was
the search
looking
bar.
up Mexican drug cartels,
Okay.
and I just put Mexican.
And was this
Right.
was this before or after? He's like, hey, who wants to hold the Glocks? And I'm like, man.
That was definitely before.
Before that.
Before
But the
the
Odyssey
Glocks.
trailer comes out, and this is how you know there's a lot of black people in there because somebody goes, is that Travis Scott?
And then just rewind.
We get to rewind.
Because I didn't think it was Travis Scott for a
No,
minute.
I didn't.
But you had some spicy thoughts on the trailer.
I don't know that they're spicy thoughts as much as they are, interesting. So the trailer itself, to me, painted a very interesting tonal picture of the Odyssey.
Okay.
And it might just be that once I'm in the theater, I have to fall into Nolan's world. Obviously, he's an expert world creator, right? But like, I saw the Odyssey, which is a very important story, maybe the most important story in the history of modern storytelling. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the beginning of modern storytelling. And everybody was in the trailer as the people that I know them to be outside the world.
John Bernthal was doing John Bernthal. Tom Holland was basically
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Like, what do you
Travis Scott was.
Travis Scott was basically like, Travis Scott to me doesn't have the gravitas to narrate your trailer.
Forgive me. Has he acted in anything?
I don't know. So like to me, when I looked at it, I was like, the movie feels like you have, and then you have Tom Holland going, can you tell me about my dad? The use of
And
dad.
you're waiting for a Robert Downey Jr.
Right, yeah.
Marissa Tomei show up on the other side.
And look, the use of the term, like, dad. He says Odysseus is his dad. And I thought that the Odyssey was a father type experience. Can you tell me about father? Like, and maybe when we get into this world, we'll see that Nolan's take on it is to make it a little bit more accessible and maybe that will be fine. But tonally, this trailer that had a little bit more dialogue and had the characters talking a little bit more. This is the first time we've kind of heard some of them go back and forth. It was interesting for me.
Is because when I've been watching these trailers, I think what I've seen a lot of people pushing back where they're like, this isn't historically accurate to the way things would have looked there, the armor, the this, all that shit. I don't care about that. But I think it's interesting to what you're saying. Is Nolan trying to make a very, very accurate portrayal of a story that obviously didn't happen? Or is this more fantastical, more his aesthetic, and him basically being like, this is a made up story in the same way that he's going to make The Dark Knight how he sees Batman? This seems like very much his Odyssey, not, I would say, something that it's honestly kind of reminds me of 300 a little bit, where it's like 300 is Zack Snyder's vision of a certain time period, and it's not the most accurate, but it feels epic.
That's the thing. We don't know. At least I don't know, especially from that trailer, which is why I'm not as low on it as you are. The Travis Scott thing is weird because you have all these like Lupita, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon, all these people who we know as actors. When you see them on screen, you know they're gonna bring something. And to lead your trailer with Travis Scott, that just seems like promo to me.
He's narrating that trailer.
Is this a how do you do, fellow kids pandering? Like Christopher Nolan's like what, like a 50-year-old white man? Like he thinks he's doing something, putting Travis Scott in his movie, and I'm a little bit like.
I mean, I said this at the house. I was like, maybe him and Travis Scott are homies, man. Maybe
they are.
They are. So
great. He did the song for Tenet.
Yeah, he did the song for Tenet.
So man, that's just like, hey man, you come out here, come and set a couple days, man. We're gonna get you these scenes locked in. And maybe that was where they was like, we can use Travis to promo thing. We watched it on
get
football.
Ice Cube up in there.
Let me be completely clear in what I'm saying. You guys, there's just a very low chance that this is not going to be a fucking awesome movie.
I agree.
It's like a very low chance. Very low chance. So I do not mean in anything that I'm saying to throw water on people's expectations, be Debbie Downer. We don't want to be that. But in watching this trailer, I was wondering whether or not I will be, like I said, thrust into a new world, reintroduced to an old world, or whether or not there will be familiarity that is in the dialogue and an otherworldliness that exists in the action and the scene creation that it might take 10, 15 minutes to get used to. Okay. And that's it.
I'm not really too worried about the idea of immersion when it comes to this movie, and especially when it comes to that like very tired argument of like historical accuracy when that technically didn't exist. I think that the main thing that comes with an adaptation that I think Nolan is probably trying to do here is we're probably thinking about this like we would a Shakespeare adaptation, where the template and the story and the words are there, and all you need to do is just throw your Christopher Nolan skin on it and then go to town. I think that Nolan's kind of doing something a little bit different than this. I think he's trying to add his sauce and flavor to what the Odyssey actually is. I like the Travis Scott thing as much as they are friends. I think that the way that he interprets the idea of like, what do you know about my dad? The sort of like John Bernthal-iness of that guy at the bar telling war stories. That's very much an additive property of an adaptation of a story that we know. I think it's because of that accessibility that Nolan is probably trying to tap into, rather than making it something that's quote unquote accurate, because who cares about accuracy? There's cyclopses. There's giant mythical beasts. There's supposed to be massive gods that roam the sky in this story. Like, it's not about accuracy. It's vibes.
Would you put one of the guys in a jetpack?
It depends on what you're adapting. I've seen adaptations of Shakespeare that take place in the 80s during war-torn countries.
I know. So here's the deal. Number one, I agree with what you say. I'm not talking about accuracy.
Right.
I'm talking about, to me, there might be a second where you have to understand that so many other things that exist in this world are going to be they're going to meet your expectations, but maybe other parts of it, maybe the way the characters speak to one another won't, right?
Mhm.
This is not the first time we've had this argument. If you go back and watch Robin Hood, Men of Thieves, Kevin Costner is a fucking guy from Jersey that is in the middle of Sherwood Forest.
Yeah.
Right? What happens is everybody around you, everybody around him is speaking the way they would have spoken.
Mhm.
Everybody around him is observing the customs that they would have observed. So after a while, you go, hey, maybe Robin's accent got fucked up when he was in the Crusades. Who knows?
Marty Supreme had a similar thing where it's like they weren't necessary. Everything about that wasn't period accurate. Tyler, the creator, was not embodying what it was to live in that time. He was like,
Right.
you know,
I think some of this has to do, for me at least, I'll speak for myself, with expectation. When you've seen other movies like this, you've seen actors who are not doing like, they're not speaking as Greeks would have spoken. These are like
No.
British actors who are affecting a British accent. But there is stuff that the Sword and Sandal movie has done before that I think people come to expect. If it's not done here, that is fine. Like, gee golly willikers, where's my father? I don't think that will be a big deal for people in the long run. And maybe these trailers, as they're rolled out, will be the thing that kind of gets us used to how we're going to be able to come to this world.
So my last question, because I just thought about this, is for me, Christopher Nolan is like the king of structure, where it's like you're always like, wait, what the fuck does he want to do a World War II movie? And then he does something genius with how the three timelines. He's been doing this since Memento. Like,
Certainly.
even Oppenheimer, where you're just like, oh, why did he want to make this? And you're just like, oh, not only did he want to build a movie to this explosion, he wanted to show visually physics, nuclear fission, and all this stuff. What do you think it's about the Odyssey, where I don't think it just that he wanted to do Sword and Sandals.
Right.
There must have been something here where he's like, structurally, in the writing, in the script, in the filmmaking, there's something I want to demonstrate. And it seems like the trailers are almost hiding that.
I think that's exactly what it is. That's why when we were like, what's this movie? I think he's not telling us, he's not showing us what the energy of the movie truly is.
What's the Nolan twist to it?
We're not seeing it. That's
He's
why
his
we're
son,
like, that's why we're sitting there. We're like, Travis Scott. We're trying to piece it all together, but he's keeping that from us for a reason, I believe. So we just have to go into the theater on July 17th, my birthday, and find out.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan, his reputation precedes him. He's a really high concept filmmaker. So you go in there, you see the movie. You're gonna go, guys. You're gonna go watch the Odyssey. You're gonna have a great time in the Odyssey. The Odyssey is more than likely going to live up to every single expectation that you have of it. If this is a different take on the Sword and Sandal epic, then it might take a couple of trailers or a little while for us to kind of get into it. I was just watching it like, it was, to me, tonally confusing a little bit, but that might have been because of my own expectations.
So next trailer I wanted to talk about, we got a little short Supergirl teaser, and really the only reason I'm bringing this up is kind of got our first full look as Jason Momoa in Lobo. I'll start with you, Van.
As Lobo.
Yeah. Do you feel like Lobo is something that people would get excited for? Because it seemed kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that's Jason Momoa as Lobo. It was.
Yeah, it's interesting that Lobo, the character, is generating this much conversation. I look at Lobo as a comic book fan's comic character.
Very 90s, very of an era. That's peak Wolverine, peak Punisher, peak Lobo. Just like,
yeah, Lobo is a hooper's hooper. You know, when Wolverine is taking over the world and the anti-hero is coming around and changing the way we view comics, Lobo is a send-up of that. So I know that there are a lot of people who are desperate to see Lobo adapted in live action. Those people can't undergird your movie and make it financially successful. It's not enough of them. I wonder, though, if Jason Momoa is doing as much for Lobo as Lobo is doing for Jason Momoa.
That's the real thing there.
That's the rub. I think that's ultimately what it comes back to, is that because it's Jason Momoa, right? Aquaman. This is a guy who, whether you agree with like how good the movies are or not, they've made a ton of money movies he's been in. So they're trying to bank on his bankability. Like, here's Jason Momoa. He's in the movie. You like Lobo. We're putting him front and center. Hopefully y'all go see the movie because Jason Momoa is Lobo.
And the drummed up enthusiasm of the fan casting movement of making him Lobo and knowing that he'll team up with James Gunn and he's back in the DCU.
Do you believe the story that he was like, when DC first called him, he was like, oh man, I'm gonna play Lobo finally. They were like, oh, you get to play Aquaman. You're like, oh, you believe that story that he told?
I don't know.
I mean, is similar to the Odyssey trailer. Is James Gunn hiding something with Supergirl? Because they've been putting so much gas on this movie. It seemed like even when he was filming Superman, he's like, yo, the script, Supergirl, just wait. It's going to be amazing. And so far, I've watched these trailers and be like, all right, Guardians again. And I'm just like, what was the thing about the movie? I'm waiting to see it in the trailer that got them so excited. Like, this is going to be our next big play and our next big bet.
Unfortunately, we can't trust anything James Gunn has to say about films ever since he said The Flash was going to change Hollywood. We got to keep that one to ourselves.
Have we not healed from that?
Motherfuckers
are also pissed because it was announced that the writer of Bumblebee, Flash, and a couple other movies is officially on Brave and the Bold, which I don't think is fair. That's a new Batman movie. I always try to tell people, I'm like,
Bumblebee's good.
Bumblebee is great.
Bumblebee's
really, really good.
And I want to say this, you got to be fair to screenwriters, because if you read the script for like a bad movie, sometimes you'll be like, oh, this is a great script. Like, shit could get fucked up.
Yeah, at any point.
Like, I could see you reading the Flash script and being like, damn, this is going to make a great fucking
I've talked about it before. It's a movie called Street Kings with Keanu Reeves. I read the script, and that script is a fucking amazing script. The movie came out and ended up being like probably like a C+ version, C-.
Yeah.
Pretty whack. Maybe not quite cast right, didn't really hit the mark tonally. But all the time you have great scripts that end up in being bad movies. And sometimes you have the films that elevate from the script with what the director is able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, with some of the stuff that's happening in terms of like Supergirl, I have such mixed expectations for the film.
Yeah.
I'm expecting solid. So if it lives up to solid, I think I'll be okay. I wonder what they're expecting though.
It's a fairly unknown quantity, Supergirl. Like, we haven't had that much exposure, the collective consciousness. Like, I know you have, because you've seen and I think liked the Supergirl movie.
It's nostalgia. It's
nostalgia.
Hard not to like it.
But like, we don't really know what to expect from a Supergirl movie because we don't really know who Supergirl is. So it's kind of an empty canvas that they can paint with.
Is Supergirl the type of character that has to justify why a movie is being made about her, or does she have the type of history and pop culture where you don't have to do that?
I'll be honest, because as a comic book fan, I think the reason it's so hard to do a Supergirl movie is that they've never actually figured out Supergirl in the comics. They've rebooted that character so many times. She's had so many different names. Sometimes she's the older cousin that comes. Sometimes she's fused with a fucking angel. It's just same thing with Superboy. I think Superman in general, his world is very wonky. And I think if you read the Tom King comic, I think they're probably like, oh, okay, we have a vision for this. I think something similar happened for like Captain America Winter Soldier, where you're like, if you read that original Ed Brubaker comic, you're like, this is already a movie. I could see people reading the Tom King Supergirl, I think it's called Woman of Tomorrow,
yeah.
And being like, with the art and how colorful it is and everything, that's like a drunk Supergirl dealing with, this genocidal maniac, which is also a stand-in for her own world getting destroyed. I could see getting like, hey, yo, we got something. It's just, hey, it's going to be in the making. Now, let's go very, very quick.
Sure.
Through the rest of these. Van, I'm going to clear out because you were lying up a fucking story.
Let's do it.
I don't think he'll lie.
He-Man, Master of the Universe. Dog, when I tell you, Van forced us to watch this trailer.
He ran it back.
He ran it back. He's like, that's Battle Cat.
Yo, like, man, this is special, man. Oh, I can't wait. Brother, don't lie.
So let me tell you guys something real quick. You young whippersnappers. The year is 1986.
All right, play the drop.
Play the drop. We haven't done it in a while. The year is 1986. Me and my father, Van Terry Lathan Sr., and my mother, I don't know where Ebony was, probably somewhere doing fucked up shit.
Right.
Grow up, Ebony. The three of us go to a place in Baton Rouge, downtown, called Catfish Town.
Catfish Town?
It's the name of the place.
I wonder what they do there.
It's Catfish Town. It was like an area where you go down there, you have a fun time. You know, it's Catfish Town area down there, and that's changed now. Now Catfish Town, they put a casino down there, they fucked up Catfish Town, whatever. Historic Catfish Town still exists. Catfish Town is down there. Do you know what I had with me when we went to Catfish Town?
A sword?
Battle Cat.
Oh.
Wow.
I had Battle Cat with me. Do you know why? Because I used to take Battle Cat with me wherever I went.
Wait, was this the little action figure with the add-on plastic joints?
Hell nah. This was this was the Battle Cat action figure. I guess you could put the saddle on him.
Yeah.
Because
Then He-Man could ride him.
because Cringer was him without
Right.
the saddle.
Right,
And then
right.
with the saddle on him, he's Battle Cat.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and did you have the full Castle Grayskull, like it could open up?
All of it.
Wow.
Do
You really
know
had your own little Hobbs
that
on you.
I had the entire joint, right?
Wow.
I had Grayskull, open up Grayskull. You got Tila, Man-at-Arms, Ram Man, the whole fucking crew.
All right, no wonder you're lying. You
All
got
right,
nostalgia
I
glasses
got
on.
the
Yeah.
whole crew.
You have to
right?
lie.
I
Mhm.
got it set
Yeah.
up. Coy, my cousin Coy comes in there, starts moving my shit around, attacked him. Didn't say a word. Did not say a word. I come in there, I see Skeletor standing on top of Grayskull. No, Skeletor's place on the other side, Snake Mountain. You've made Skeletor conquer Grayskull. You didn't ask me. We box. We box. My cousin Coy, we box. So I'm letting you guys know right now, I'm in the bag for the movie.
Yeah.
I'm
Be
in the-
honest, the trailer looked terrible.
We're ready to show.
It was fine.
No,
I
it wa-
can't
Oh,
wait.
man.
Play stop the
I
cap.
Yo, stop
guess
it.
what?
Yeah,
Guess what?
man.
Guess what? You know what movie I love? Master of the Universe from the 80s. Dolph Lundgren, Courtney Cox, Frank Langella as Skeletor. Okay, I enjoy it. I
That makeup
can't
was
wait.
crazy.
I can't wait for Cringer. I can't wait for Battle Cat. I can't wait for Adam. I can't wait for Falcor. I can't wait for the Sorceress. I can't wait. The three of you can fuck off.
You ever seen that meme of the guy listens to the J. Cole album and he play like half a second? Oh, this is the best
Oh my
thing
God,
ever.
he's on Escape
That's
Mode.
him.
Listen. Did the trailer look? I don't know. Yes, it did. Okay. At the same time, though, I'm going to see He-Man.
When he's like, I have the power. Like,
Wait, my question is
I'm
why
going to see He-Man.
why can't they do these? Like, I want to go back to the time when like Michael Bay was doing Transformers, where he's like, you know what? We got to put Megan Fox in the joint. It's gonna look fucking fried to shit. It's like it looks cool. This He-Man trailer honestly looks like recycled MCU garbage.
So this is my thing with the trailer, in all honesty. If I was doing a He-Man movie, which, guys, I've made a bunch of gigantic films, so listen to me. If I was doing a He-Man movie, it would probably be self-serious. It would probably be a sword and sandal version of He-Man that would be closer to Game of Thrones with actual, like, for the whole family.
a little
right?
Conan the Barbarian.
But it would be probably close to that. That's not the way they went. They decided to take the cartoon and make it live.
Mhm.
You'll know within, like I said, you'll know very early on whether or not that works. Whether or not the movie is funny enough, whether or not the movie is too plucky, whether or not the movie actually gets into the story enough for it to work. But if people that aren't like me that looked at the trailer and were disappointed, I can see what they're
I mean,
talking
Steve, you brought this up at Van's crib that this reminded you more of like how they did Dungeons and Dragons,
Yes.
the new one.
It does not strike me as something that isn't aware of the subject matter and willing to have fun with it. Because like you see the nameplate like of He-Man,
He-him,
he-him,
yeah.
and like that's just a great joke. He-him man. And to know that he's like an outcast on Earth that's gonna be sent back to Castle Grayskull and all of this realm, and it's going to be a
That's
reintroduction.
my
to-
problem.
Eternia.
It's Eternia.
is the name.
Thank
That's
you
my
very
problem.
much.
We can't. Mortal Kombat.
It's
did
not gonna
this.
be.
Stop.
Yeah, we
Brother,
can't
if
do
you're gonna do the movie, do the movie. Have He-Man be in Eternia. That we can just do that. We
Don't
gotta-
have E-Man have to go back to Earth to save
Yeah,
Earth. Like, come
we're
on,
not trying to-
brother.
I don't
Well,
really
I
care
don't know
about
that he
He-Man
has to
or
go
Earth.
back to Earth.
But I
No,
don't
they
care
said
that-
something in the trailer where I think he's like,
They sent him back as a boy.
no, maybe I watched the trailer. They sent him back as a boy, and then somebody's talking to him, be like, we gotta go back to Earth. And I'm like, if Skeletor attacks, fucking New York City or the Bay. I'm gonna be pissed.
Okay, so that's basically kind of how they did Master of the Universe, the movie that came out in the 80s, which is a cult classic, but it's a very unserious movie. But they kind of did it in that all of the stuff takes place on Earth. And there are reasons why, right?
Yeah.
The cartoon and the lore of He-Man is dated insofar as He-Man has a secret identity. Prince Adam is somebody that like we don't know is He-Man. That don't really make no sense, right? It kind of doesn't make any sense for him to have like I have the power now. He-Man the Protector comes around. Like really, He-Man should just be the prince, and it should be the whole deal. And or we should know that Adam can turn into He-Man.
But there's not a Lord of the Rings version of this, you know.
I know. So like I'm saying in this, if what they are trying to do is show us the journey that Adam goes from Adam to He-Man, I think that's an interesting way to modernize the story, to make it a hero's journey from Adam is on Earth as Adam that he has to hide because Skeletor and the rest of Skeletor's minions would be looking for him, and maybe he has to find his power as He-Man, and that doesn't come till early in the third act, midway through the second act or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So really quick, the only one I want to talk about is, dog, I'm putting all my money on Super Mario Galaxy. My man Yoshi in this bitch.
Yeah,
That's
Yoshi
making
can-
$2 bill.
love
$2
Yoshi.
bill.
I'm hype. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yoshi looked good. He sounds great.
I'm telling you that the first one I loved, and I think this one gonna be Galaxy's better. You know what I'm saying? I think this one gonna be cold. I'm fucking with
Are they
this.
gonna let Yoshi have his move where he just sticks his tongue out and poops out an egg?
Maybe
Well, I
so.
don't know if he
Who's that, an
but
egg?
he used the tongue in the trailer, right, to grab the little apple thing. Yeah, dude. It's
How
gonna
does
be great.
Yoshi, who I believe is a male dinosaur, pop out eggs?
I mean, we don't know how it works. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah, yeah.
lizards.
Yeah,
Remember Jurassic
yeah.
Park?
You know, in Game of Thrones,
Remember they
the
put-
dragons they can go from male to female.
Yeah, well,
Very
yeah,
malleable.
change.
well, no,
yeah.
I mean, what I think is really interesting is like how you just became gender normative in that way.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
what I thought was that we were past that.
Mm.
So Yoshi is non-binary.
Hey.
There.
I mean, ask them.
Hey, hell yeah!
Yeah.
They
So
know.
I mean, and you know what? We're
I did grow up thinking Yoshi was a boy. That's my bad.
yeah. You,
Wait,
you-
someone
gotta-
do a lookup. Look up on Google.
no, 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 no.
No, we don't need it.
There's no
We'll
need
ask
to-
Yoshi.
There's no need to
Yeah.
define Yoshi in those terms.
No.
Okay. Well, you know what we know about Yoshi that's important to know? He's a great friend.
Yes.
Great
He's a
rewoken.
great friend. He
He-
can,
Is he?
They-
Wait, now my
Tripped up.
follow up.
Yeah.
Is Yoshi Mario's friend or Mario's pet or both?
This is a question I've always asked.
Is it
Because
Right,
Mario
boy.
rides
Rides him.
on Yoshi, but is it more so like giving your friend a piggyback ride or like a battle cat?
They
situation?
boys like this.
Well,
The
can
only
I tell you
part that-
something that Mario abuses Yoshi?
Yes.
That's what I
No,
was about to
no,
get into.
you
Yes.
abused Yoshi.
No.
Mario abuses Yoshi.
Sometimes in the game, you have to like you jump.
Yeah.
have
You don't
leap
have
off-
to.
No. Yes, to get
Yes,
to the.
you do.
What are you talking about?
To get secrets, yes.
You jump and you have to jump off Yoshi and leave him to fall and die so you can get
Yeah.
to the next
Can I
level.
tell you guys something? Have you guys ever noticed the animation that happens before Yoshi sticks his tongue out?
What did you do?
Mario hits him.
Oh, yeah, he hits him on the side of the
Oh,
head.
yeah.
Do y'all niggas even been paying attention to the shit? All of these years I've been riding for Yoshi. I've been talking about Yoshi's rights. I've been like
Yoshi's
telling-
rights.
I've been telling people that Mario punches the shit out of Yoshi,
Mhm.
right?
The homie
You guys,
Yoshi.
so like Mario hits Yoshi to make Yoshi do his bidding. What I'm hoping that happens in this movie right now is that whenever Yoshi uses his tongue, it's like Lil Wayne for fun.
No. No.
You think
Mario is Michael Vick's just fucking.
Damn, why we gotta bring Vic into this?
That's probably, yeah,
I
it had to
was
be
gonna say-
Vic.
Nah, 'cause what if-
Hey,
what if-
that's not right. This how I know y'all Republicans.
No, they
Vic-
call you a Republican.
Like this how I know. That's how I know y'all Republicans. Vic paid his debt to society,
Right.
and y'all still
Did
bringing
Kanye
shit
pay
up.
his debt to society?
Did Kanye pay his debt
Hey.
to society? Not yet.
Hey,
we'll
Charles.
see how good his credit
Hey
is.
Charles,
Yeah.
who's more attractive, Michael Vick or Beyonce?
Right.
I asked this question yesterday.
Big point of contention there.
Wait, was this when I left?
When you left,
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I asked the
It kept
question:
going.
Who's sexier, Michael Vick or Beyonce? And I'm
How do we
challenging.
even get there?
I just asked out of nowhere. Is Vic sexier for a guy or is Beyonce sexier for a woman?
It's easily Beyonce.
It's not even close.
Now,
Yeah.
if you were just like, who's sexier, Denzel or Beyonce? I could.
Hold on. So you think young Denzel is sexier than Vic?
Yes, obviously.
I think that there's probably a lot of women that are going to say that they give each other a run for their money. Okay? All I'm saying is, if you are secure, you should be able to ask the question, who's sexier? They both sexy. They both the highest levels of sexy.
Right.
Okay.
But every woman I ever knew, 07 to 11, all they wanted was some Vic. That's what they wanted.
But that's a very short run.
Well, that's, he destroyed several animals. And I think that was a turnoff.
Right. That doesn't help.
Yeah, it's a pretty good.
But what I'm telling you is like Vic is one of them ones for them. And I was just asking the people in their sphere of whatever, who reached a higher peak of desirability for the people that desire them, Vic or Beyonce? These are questions.
It's easily Beyonce.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I feel like the plan's just aligned for Vic and just like for like a 4-year span.
You guys, if that's what you say, then I agree. I was just asking a question. You guys are trying to put Vic down. Okay. You guys weren't around when women were going crazy over Vic. You weren't. That's crazy.
I was alive. I remember it.
Yeah, but the girls that you were dealing with, they weren't on Vic.
I was like fucking 8. So
yeah, I was playing him on that ESPN game. I played him there.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Darth Maul trailer, really quick. Do we care?
Y'all see that little hallway scene, man? Everybody get one.
That's cool.
Yeah,
they need to retire Darth Maul. Whenever shit gets tough,
no, you can't.
They just psycho. Like
at this
point, he's an old man in a wheelchair. Again, just like shit ain't going well, Darth Maul.
Okay. What we during halftime we were watching
Duel of
the Fates.
Yeah,
from Phantom Menace, and it's funny. It's been like not 30, almost 30 years, but Darth Maul's still alive and kicking.
Yeah,
he was so cool.
He's been in Clone Wars, Rebels,
Solo, and he's got his own little thing.
Has Darth Maul passed? Okay, so if we're doing Star Wars villains, all-time Star Wars villains, top 5.
Okay,
Palpatine.
Then. So the number
Darth
1
Vader.
is Vader. Number 2 is Emperor Palpatine.
Where does Dooku fit here?
Number 3, he's not very high up.
No.
To me, if you count legend stuff, maybe like more stuff. But number 3 to me,
probably
was Thrawn for a long time.
Right.
Wait, are we talking about like Star Wars heads, or are we talking about just in general?
I mean, we're talking about what people would say.
Because people probably say Kylo Ren is probably up there for a lot of people.
If Kylo Ren is up there, I think
wait.
So let's be for real.
Kylo Ren.
So it's really the 3 spot that's really, because I thought for a long time it was Thrawn. Maybe Thrawn doesn't have enough, to your point, cultural saturation.
No. For possible. Star Wars heads, like
Star Wars
Thrawn
heads.
would
Star Wars heads is
obviously
unquestionable, yeah.
But also, like, his live action debut was not great.
But then what about Rebels, though?
And literally any book that he's ever been written in.
Yeah.
I would put Darth Maul over Thrawn.
I think right now Maul is probably 3rd over Thrawn.
He has I would say he has the second, 3rd best lightsaber fight in the entire franchise.
It's gotta be. Okay, so first is Mustafar.
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, hell no.
What?
Hell no.
What?
Hell no.
What's first?
No.
What's first?
The lightsaber battle in Phantom Menace is the greatest lightsaber battle of all time.
Okay.
Wait, over Mustafar?
Where the one where Qui-Gon go out a little sad?
Listen to me. Mustafar is more important. If we just talking about we getting busy, Mustafar goes on for a very long time and it's cool.
So we're talking about the start of Darth Maul when he comes into the room.
Doors
Qui-Gon says, all right, I can agree with this.
And
that is the cultural reset.
That's busy. They both, boom, we fight over. And then once the Williams score leaves and Qui-Gon Jinn is killed, and then Kenobi runs out.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So wait, it's
we
Duel of Fates
crazy.
Duel of Fates is number 1. What's number 2? Mustafar?
Mustafar maybe, but you might also be able to get me to say Yoda and Attack of the Clones.
Whoa! So we're not doing we're not doing Vader and Luke in Empire.
If we're being
when does
real,
Empire get there?
If we're being real, okay, so that's a good lightsaber battle.
It's not.
But if we're being real, the way they fought in those original movies
is not
as dazzling.
No. But are we just ranking
not important
the technical aspects? Because to me, a fight is just as much about the emotion that sets how you feel during the fight. It's not all about fucking flips. Because if it was, we'd put the fucking General Grievous fight in
I feel like that's a twofold factor.
It's not flips, but even that fight, I don't think is technically like you have the hello there, all that stuff, but it's not like as technically a sound and as special as Mustafar as the throne, or for me the throne room fight in the Last Jedi.
That's top 5.
I love that scene. That's got to be there.
Not a big deal for me. But like,
all right, get
man.
the fuck out of here.
That's not lie. You lying today.
Come on, bro.
You lying today.
That's what I think.
It's great.
Visually, aesthetically, that's probably the best fight that is.
okay,
ever
so
been
let's
in Star Wars.
before we haven't even touched Wonder Man yet,
Right.
and we're gonna touch him.
Oh,
Easy.
right.
All right, so let me tell you what I'm talking about. Tell you when I'm talking about fights. So the throne room fight is the most one of the most beautiful scenes in Star Wars history.
Sure.
Yeah.
The fight choreography isn't very compelling to me. So when I'm talking about lightsaber fights, if we're talking about everything that you guys are talking about, then like if we talk about the emotion of the fight and what the fight means and how the fight, Luke going crazy, maybe your sister really, all of that stuff has to be considered. But when I'm talking about fights, I'm talking about like when I started, it's like a stupid kung fu way. Like what the best lightsaber choreography is. There's some of the I guess the emotion of the fight that goes in there, because at the end of Duel of the Fates, you have Kenobi fighting incredibly hard to
This is number one now. Yeah.
Right? But the throne room fight is beautiful and it's thematically insanely important. But for some reason, I've never been impressed.
Yeah, because
by the choreography.
Because Luke threw the lightsaber over his shoulder and beginning to move, and he was like,
you guys,
and he was like,
listen to me. There's not a lightsaber fight in the sequel trilogy, to me, that is very compelling from the standpoint of how they're fighting with the lightsaber.
Can we delve into the TV shows just a tiny bit? Because we were throwing, like, I think the best compliment we could ever throw The Acolyte is that it probably had the best lightsaber fights.
That was going
That's
crazy
the
in there.
second best one to me.
That's not
that fourth fight and then the finale fight is probably some of the best.
They was hooping.
No, for
They
real.
They was hooping. It's top 10,
hooping.
maybe top 5. It is not.
Listen, if we had to make a list, we should do a list of Star Wars top 10s. That's another pod. But all I'm saying is, I understand. I'm not dissing the throne room fight. I understand what you guys are talking about. The fight itself is it's desperate. They're using all of the things. I get it.
They're using team ups. Come on, man.
Yeah, but I think the
all of
prequel
the
fights,
things.
I will say, Duel of the Fates, unimpeachable, number one.
Yes.
You are right. I do think some of the prequels fights get very, very choreographed heavy, where it's like they're almost dances.
Yeah.
And I think what I like
that's the
about the
vibe,
throne room fight is that, to me, it's Rian Johnson kind of taking some of the speed of the prequels, but slowing it down so it feels more like the originals. Because like some of the George Lucas, I was like, I think Attack of the Clones is
That's the worst.
That's
the
where
worst.
I'm like, this shit is
They're just spinning shit.
just
around.
finished. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, y'all?
Well, this is the way I look at it. To me, I really felt like those lightsaber battles were better because Lucas had a reason why they were the way that they were. They were like, this is a time when all of these different Jedi were around and there were this many styles that they were using. The Jedi were in their prime. It's like legitimately comparing the NBA of now to the NBA of 1955, where the NBA of now, we've had enough basketball being played where people have all of these unique styles of getting to the basket and doing their thing and blah, 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 blah. So you see a lot of people's personal inspirations in what it is that they do.
Yeah.
That all died, right? Really, if you're looking at the sequel trilogies or after that stuff, that it wouldn't make a lot of sense for there to be as much flourish in the way that they're fighting with the lightsaber, because the art of the lightsaber has really died. Right? They're really just, they're like, before there was art, there was style, there was different takes on it. Your athleticism and how you looked. Some people were defensive fighters. Some people were offensive fighters. By the time we get to Luke's time and the time after Luke, a lot of that is gone because a lot of the culture of the Jedi is gone.
And Vader can't do flips.
I was about to say,
all that shit.
Because he's just a robot.
The only person, because Obi-Wan's old by the time you get to New Hope, and the only person who would remember that is Anakin, but he's got a robot body. He can't be out
so
there
most
going
of his
crazy.
fighting is using the Force and just like a lot of just
Which is
fucking-
what, we didn't even talk about the hallway scene in Rogue One. That's not a lightsaber
All right,
duel,
man.
but it's a...
We've overrated that scene.
I don't think so, man.
Hell
Come on, man. Now you lying.
It's not a lightsaber fight. It's not a lightsaber fight, but it's
the line is contagious. What's going on?
Yeah, to me, he comes in there, bruh. That's one of the most.
You hit it, dude.
That's one of the most devastatingly effective fights
I like
in Star Wars history.
It's not a fight though. It's
Well,
just
whatever.
a slaughter.
It's not a fight,
It's
though.
it's
It's
straight
bell.
bell.
Let me tell you something. For people, if you were showing somebody a scene and demonstrating why Darth Vader is scary, that's what you would show.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Wait, you would have shown him the Obi-Wan scene?
No. No. It's crazy.
That's actually pretty cool too.
Because, and this just speaks to what they were doing when they made the original trilogy. Because he's scary in those films. Like, legitimately, like, I don't know, I watched it when I was a little bit older, but I could still come away understanding why people would go, like, yo, Darth Vader, top 3 villain of all time. He's not 2, he's not 3.
Chokes you, all that stuff.
The whole thing. When you see him in Rogue One, dog, that's real fear. Watching everybody, like, run scared, like, that's the, like, again, I've never had to fight Darth Vader in real life, but if I did, I imagine I'd feel just like that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
All right, well, look at that tangent. Wonder Man.
At some point.
You guys ready for it? All right, you guys, look, check this out. There's a new show that dropped in a binge, Marvel Spotlight show, Wonder Man. Okay, it stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Simon Williams, Wonder Man, and of course, back with us to ride is Ben Kingsley
Trevor Slattery.
as Trevor Slattery. Guys, we're about to give you our thoughts on all 8 episodes of Wonder Man. Spoiler warning, we're going to be spoiling Wonder Man. We're also going to be spoiling other things that might be tangential to Wonder Man.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man
3,
3,
Shang-Chi,
other things,
blah, 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 blah,
Shang-Chi,
blah.
all of that goddamn shit is in this goddamn show. All right? Spoiler warning, Steve. We're getting ready to talk about
Wonder Man.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. He's got to do a midnight manifest for 8 episodes of television. He's Chuck Wagon, the only one who can do it. Take it away, Chuck.
All right, there's your Midnight Manifest for Wonder Man, created by Destin Daniel Cretton and Andrew Guest, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, ex-bio, how do you say his name? Zlatko Burek, Ariane Moyed, and Ben Kingsley. Sorry if I butchered anybody's name. Anyway, Simon Williams is a struggling actor and metahuman forced to hide his gifts from the world thanks to the doorman policy, a law that forbids Hollywood studios from hiring metahumans. Simon believes he catches a big break when he meets Trevor Slattery at a movie theater. Unbeknownst to Simon, though, Trevor is spying on him for damage control to avoid being sent back to prison for his crimes as the Mandarin, which happened in Iron Man 2. Trevor's handler is P. Cleary, a damage control agent under pressure from his bosses to land a huge metahuman arrest to help fill the agency's new prison. Simon and Trevor embark on a buddy comedy shenanigans as they try to land a role in a remake of Wonder Man, but Simon's unstable powers and Trevor's deceit threaten to break the duo apart at every turn. That has been your Midnight Manifest for Wonder Man. I'm going to start with you, Van. What'd you think of these 8 episodes?
I really enjoyed the series. I legitimately enjoyed it. It was low stakes. The expectations couldn't have been lower, okay? But I think the reason why I loved it so much is because what Wonder Man did was dedicate itself to telling a story without any of the expectations attached to it that we might have for a Marvel television property. This was about what it was about. It was about a superpowered actor who doesn't care about the fact that they have powers as much as they care about the fact that they want to be an actor. That is kind of a subversion of what we've gotten. Tony Stark becomes Iron Man, and that becomes more important than Tony Stark. Doctor Strange becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, and that becomes more important than being Stephen Strange. This was actually something interesting in terms of the evolution of superhero television and film, to where the powers were a burden that stopped you from doing something that is very distinctly human. And the tension that was involved in that, sometimes it was evident, sometimes it wasn't. A lot of times this had nothing to do with anyone having powers other than my man Aaron. Shout out Aaron, great job, buddy. Who set Slattery, the guy from Damage Control, who put him on Simon Williams. That's the only way that we know that we're in the Marvel world, right? I thought that it worked. is it a perfect show? No, it's not a perfect show. It's not a perfect show. But it is a very enjoyable show that, to me, by the end of it, made its point and really served as a pretty interesting origin for this particular hero.
Mid-Boys?
I had a lot of fun watching this show. I think the highlight for me is episode 5, when it's just Trevor gets beat up and they gotta go. The guy catches him on camera. Then he goes to the guy's house and it turns out it's not drugs, it's chamoy.
Love that.
Great.
That I could have watched 8 episodes of that. Just Trevor,
man. When he says that,
Oh, yeah.
it's funny. Yeah,
when he's like, "Oh, chamoy, like that whole when he like they've got like the cops at the door, the guys with the gun, the people like trying to come together after they've been beefing.
He's on the phone.
Like, oh, we gotta go to callback right now. Like all of that happening at once. It's just really funny. And while I really enjoyed Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Simon Williams, Ben Kingsley is Trevor Slattery is special television.
I actually think that we take Ben Kingsley for granted quite often.
Because his character of Trevor is so silly. We saw it in the end of Iron Man 3 and in Shang-Chi. Just like completely ridiculous. Everything, like a lot of the things he says don't make any sense. It's all ridiculous.
He's drugged out. He's a kook.
But in this particular version of the character, he's able to tap in to this second world where whether he's giving somebody advice, whether he's like doing a monologue or acting, he just goes, he turns into Ben Kingsley, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is I'm in a different world, I'm in a different universe. It's legitimately special. I had a great time. And yeah, I don't know if people are like gonna sit through like all 8 episodes, but I had a good time.
Chuck?
I commend Marvel because I think they've heard the notes. I think just structurally making this 8 episodes, 30 minutes, formatting it like a sitcom, getting 2 amazing actors in Yahya and Kingsley. They just have a charm as a duo, so they can just like carry this TV show. So I liked it from that regard. I just think largely in the Marvel project, I'm just getting very allergic to the meta aspects of it all. Where
you know, like the Mendo joke in episode 1?
The Mendocino Farms joke was when I was like, okay, we're in for a ride. And I think something that's unfair is I believe this has been an idea or maybe not in production, but they've been talking about this since 2020. The studio comes out and kind of eats its lunch. And a lot of people are going to probably watch this and be like, oh, this reminds me of the studio, which I think is a little unfair. I just think, I think almost every other Marvel project has this type of energy where it is just like, it is Marvel being like, hey guys, we get it. We ruined Hollywood. Oh my gosh, you guys are tired of us. Superheroes, isn't it silly? And I'm like, hey, yo, just tell the superhero story, motherfucker.
Honestly, I don't think the show really delves into that at all. I think that, okay, let me be honest with you. I've never seen something about Hollywood that I didn't like. Like, never. I've never.
You like Babylon?
That is different, though. Like, Babylon.
Like modern Hollywood.
Like modern Hollywood. Babylon is like a Hollywood opera in a way, like The Big Picture, which is a movie. That's a Big Picture. It's the name of the movie called The Big Picture. The Big Picture is a Kevin Bacon movie about Kevin Bacon trying to become a director and about whether or not he's going to be able to do that and maintain his creative purity. The Player.
Yeah.
I can continue to go on and on.
I mean, one of my favorite shows of all time. It probably has not aged well. I fucking love Entourage.
Right.
I love Entourage.
Right. So to me, the studio doesn't have proprietary rights over making something about making films.
Okay.
And in this one, I think they do a good job of making this less about the town itself, which you feel like it's going to be about that first, right?
Right.
It's less about the town itself more than it is, to me, about one guy and his want and need to become an actor despite all of these other things, right? And when one of those things is being super powered, to me, that story is just much, much, much easier to execute than saving the world.
Right. And it's in like they've really this is why I praise the show a lot, because this is the actual time that Marvel subverts itself, because they've actually made not a hero origin story, but the origin story of a guy who got a job, and he like found that actualization with his job and his craft. And his mentor and his coach wasn't a superhero. It was another actor that also fell from grace and failed. And as good as Marvel is at telling those stories in the superhero realm, it actually did a pretty decent job of making that just about a guy.
Mhm.
And I kind of loved that about this show, mainly because it never got in its own way. It never did that Marvel thing where it's like, well, need a fight scene here, need to show off that he has powers here, need to show off something that connects the greater Marvel tapestry to all of this. It's sometimes there, but it never gets in its own way. And that's honestly the best thing that I can say about this Marvel project, because it's been doing that the entire time.
So Simon's entire journey, it starts and ends with something. And I think it's worth pointing out. This kind of starts, in a way, not quite, but a little bit, with his girlfriend leaving him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why does she leave him?
He's self-absorbed.
He's self-absorbed.
You can't trust him.
Can't trust him.
Doesn't open up.
Doesn't
Mhm.
open up. But why?
He's hiding this big old secret.
He's got
Yeah.
this big secret that he is hiding. This gigantic albatross around his neck that threatens the only thing he's ever cared about. And why does he care about it? Why does he care about this so much?
Because all he ever wanted to do was act.
Mhm.
Because his father told him he was good at it. Because his father said, there is something in you that I see that's different. I'm not talking about your powers. I look at you and you're not talented the way other kids are talented. You're
not
talented.
You're not good because I'm telling you you're
because
good.
because your parent, you're good for real. Let me make a secret with you. Dad dies. There are a couple of remembrances to the father, and that thing that his father saw in him becomes his life's goal. But it also is the thing that stops him from connecting with other people. The single-minded focus on becoming an actor, doing the thing that he is supposedly the best at, stops him from really connecting with his girl. It's something that comes in between him and his family. It's this whole thing. By the time this show ends, he actually uses those powers in service of somebody else.
Mhm.
He actually decides, you know what? It's actually not about being an actor right now. I've let someone in, been hurt, but still seeing the value of them to the point to where I will break into a black box prison and then fly away with them.
I hated that choice because, like, when I think the show was, when I was like, oh, okay, this is really interesting, is the reveal of when Simon realizes that Slattery betrayed him. And then I'm like, all right, he's about to put on the Mandarin suit again. He's about to sacrifice himself because he knows all that stuff. And I was like, oh, that's really, really interesting. And I think that kind of coda where you realize, oh, you're like, what type of movie is he making? What type of movie is he making? Then you realize Simon is going to break into this prison. I was like, oh, this is the superhero of it all. I was actually more...
Well, it's a superhero show.
Yeah, but for the whole run of it, I think, to Steve's point, they were kind of subverting that. And then when he like breaks into the prison and breaks this guy out, also, I guess narratively, it felt a little cheap because I'm like, no, the whole thing of this is like Slattery has to pay for his crimes, and he sits in a prison for a year.
Not even?
I don't know, man. I think I disagree. I think to Van's point, the math is the guy is so scared about his powers. I mean, just because he wants to act, but generally it puts people in danger. You never want to do that. And then at the end, he's like, actually, I can use these powers to help somebody I care about.
Yeah.
It's not about the acting. It's not about the self-preservation. It's not about being self-absorbed. It's about what can I do to help others? And I have these powers. Let me go help break my guy out of prison. I enjoyed
Did
that.
Agent Cleary have a point, though? I'm like, hey, are we ever going to reference the fact that this motherfucker... well, the minute he loses
his temper, and he does make a huge
here's the
city
thing, you should have
explosion.
thrown the black man in jail. Fuck him. But it was a lot. I was like, hey, yo, can we get Simon into some therapy?
It wasn't even Simon. My favorite part of that thing was every time somebody would see Trevor be like, aren't you the Mandarin?
Yeah.
And nobody would be like, hey, man, except for the brother who was a dick, we'll talk about later. Everybody else was like, oh, what's up, Mr. Mandarin? You didn't like bomb people.
You're like a convicted terrorist.
Yeah, like
but that's how y'all generation is, though. Y'all don't give a fuck about no shit like that.
Really?
He was a viral sensation. He was more of an influencer than he was a terrorist.
That's how we are,
America.
period, right?
Are you
This is
ready
like-
for another lesson?
Like, y'all love fucking Aiden Ross. That nigga going
Who
crazy.
is
Hey, whoa,
y'all?
no.
Who is y'all?
No.
Whoa,
Absolutely not.
Do not attach my name to that at all.
So what I'm saying is that like that is kind of like, hey, we used to nobody's taking anything seriously.
Wait, so you're saying Slattery is Luigi?
Well, what I'm thinking, well, wow. what I'm thinking is
the Mandarin's
I could have said
Mandarin?
something. What I could have,
Whoa, hey.
like I could have said something. No, what I'm thinking
Down
is
to
that
the CEOs. Anyway.
that actually kind of makes sense. I guess my point about the end is, number one, I thought that was well played, being that I didn't know what he was doing. Right.
Right.
Number two, he gets what he wants, but he got something better along the way.
Yeah.
He got like he gets what he wants. He becomes Wonder Man. He becomes the big star. He's got all of this stuff. By the time they're sitting down with the people and the scene where they're all at the dinner and they're figuring out what Simon's going to do next, he's listening to all of these people give him so many different projects that legitimately 6 months before he would have jumped at the chance to do any of them. But in this case, he has so much trust for Trevor that every time a project is thrown out, he looks at Trevor and he's like, what do you think? That's because him and Trevor, there's been an actual bond that's been able to be created. And so by the time he becomes the hero that he thought he wanted to be, he realizes it doesn't matter as much if my homie not with me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he deserves to be in here because he was an addict. He was being taken advantage of. He, throughout this entire thing, has helped me and was honest with me even when it was a high leverage moment. I legitimately don't think that he should be in here, so let me get him out. It's an interesting take on the hero's journey for the hero to leave what he thought behind to go do something else and actually become kind of a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But I was fucking with it. I did wish there was a little bit more because...
Really?
Yeah, because Simon just threw his dream away. And it makes a lot of sense, but I really wanted to know more than almost
Do you
any
think
Marvel
that this
show.
was cut to shreds in terms of like, do you think that there was like more filmed or there was supposed to be like, this was supposed to be like a 45-minute per episode? Because like the jump from them landing the role to them being in the movie, that all was like a very, very speedy.
If it was done very well because it didn't feel jarring or like, it didn't feel like it was missing much. We always could have loved to see more or see more things that happened along the way, but I never for once felt like, oh, this is missing something.
I think you could have got rid of, we got to be real, you could have got rid of like episode 4. And
I was literally about
Doorman?
to ask.
Yeah.
Do you guys enjoy the Doorman episode?
I
no.
did.
Fuck no.
I honestly think in a way, it's the most important episode of the series.
It kind of is awesome.
Lay it on me.
Let me not take up so much oxygen. Steve, give me a...
Okay, well, obviously, like, this is just to say, okay, the whole, like, on its face, this episode exists so that you know that there's this, like, town-wide precedent that no superhero power people can work in the industry because of those reasons. But it is also a very good contrasting portrait of a guy who had no ambitions to be a star, who had no ambitions to be in Hollywood, and how the town really takes advantage of him about his own personal ambitions, gasses him up, and then ridicules him and then burns him into nothing. And that's the other dangerous side of this, like, terrible place that can be terrible and it can also be beautiful thing called Hollywood, where he befriends Josh Gad. He has all of these great opportunities thrown at him, and whether or not he was set up to fail or it was his own doing, he wasn't cared for afterwards. And then he was just left to be forgotten. And that makes a very interesting portrait of a thing that Simon is up against when it's reinforcing why he can absolutely not tell anybody about that because he does not want to be Doorman.
Right. He doesn't want to be known for his powers, used for his powers, something else. Every single character that we really love in Marvel, we love them because they're superpowered. Almost all of them. Like, the way this works is normally in the entire superhero genre is you are a regular, average, everyday person. They actually even describe them that way. Mild-mannered this, regular, average this. Then something happens and then that makes you extraordinary. And now because you're extraordinary, your story is worthy of being told. Because you have extraordinary powers now. You're Steve Rogers, you have all of that heart, right? And then you have the experiment, you go through super soldier serum. Well, now you can do all kinds of things. Now you're extraordinary. Now we can talk about you. This subverts that. This is a guy who was completely fucking happy.
Yes.
Doing the thing that was very intimate and just about him and the fucking club. He says as much. Totally happy. Didn't ask for it. Wasn't looking into the stars saying, what fucking is there more for me? She says, you're going to have to take out the garbage. She's like, no fucking problem. Touches something, becomes powered. That power then does what we think is going to do, which is lift him to new heights and new sort of, importance in this world. No, it doesn't. It ruins everything. It ruins everything because this town, Hollywood, has a way of taking the thing that you are most talented at and commodifying it in a way that dehumanizes you. Like, it don't matter what it is. It don't matter if you were the funniest motherfucker in the world. They can take that and make you into a meme. It doesn't matter if you're the best actor in the world. They can take your earnestness and your passion about acting, take that and make you into something ridiculous. That happens to him, but you've never really, to me, seen it happen to somebody around them acquiring a superpower, which was an interesting commentary on the Marvel superhero project to me. To me, that episode, which was just standalone, maybe I've been out here too long. You guys, that is a devastatingly accurate depiction of a career.
I just think, and this is where I gotta give credit to this series. I think Wonder Man visually reminds me way more of the better Disney Plus shows. Cretton did a really, really good job in of just like, when we think of like WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Loki, those to me are still the best looking. And the reason I think I'm a little bit down on episode 4 is because episode 4 felt visually and comedically hokey in the same way that something like a Hawkeye or a She-Hulk did, where I felt like the rest of the series, I was just like, oh, okay, this is like a good looking fucking show.
You know, but when I see that though, maybe this is just me working at TMZ, I thought about, like, no disrespect to any of these people, by the way.
For sure.
I thought about like Shiggy. You know what I mean? I thought about other people.
There are hundreds of stories
that came up doing that. And then after a while, people go, like, legitimately 6 months before, you loved me because I did this thing. And then 6 months after, you go, okay, we're tired of this.
When he's reading the tweets and they're like, yo, get a new gimmick. And you like, dang, that's how it be sometimes.
Right. That happens, that entire deal. And then to know that it ends up with this power that made him into a celebrity, becoming something that, number one, does real harm. And then number two, changes the landscape of the entire town. It's a little piece, a small piece of mythology that to me was just very important to the overall story.
Kill Jay Gad, man.
By the way, he was set up to fail. That's a massive legal liability for that studio to even consider doing that stunt.
I mean, I guess, but it's also, as Guardians also live there, who cares?
I know, but do you guys think that there would be, a Wonder Man show to me was always going to be difficult in terms of like just getting people excited. Do you think that this show would have been better served if it does come closer to Shang-Chi, where like Slattery's in it, where it's like, because a lot of this show, the connections to it, I'm like, damn, this show should have come out like 2 or 3 years ago in terms of like our timeline of watching all of this stuff. Because this, to me, this is also a show that seems very, very like, they never say the snap, but I'm just like, damn, this is a show about kind of like this new era of the Marvel fucking universe where people are so used to superheroes and it's so embedded. And that was also maybe a weird thing that while I was watching where I was just like, there's a Steve Rogers musical in this fucking world. At this point, I'm just like, why are people so afraid of having a metahuman on a movie set?
Because it killed Olaf. That's why.
Hey, we living in Thunderbolts land. Motherfucker.
Well, here's the thing. I don't ding it for not coming in closer proximity to
I'm
a
not
thing
dinging
that
it. I was just story-wise, I was saying, would it help the show a little bit?
I wouldn't say so. Because again, like all you need to really know about the connective tissue of the bigger Marvel tapestry here is that some guy was set up as a patsy to be a terrorist. And he was once a very respected actor amongst his peers. And that really honestly feels like the main connective tissue, because even in reference to other superheroes or even like Rogers the Musical, things that you would see, I'm like, it actually kind of almost took me out of it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're in this world again, where it almost felt like I had to be reminded of that fact that it isn't like the real world.
But I think there's more connections that were basically like, to me, this reminded me of the last Spider-Man movie, where it's like, oh, that's a movie with damage control in it, and it is very much about like what happens when one of the biggest superheroes in the world goes to a school, and this is the Hollywood version of this, where it's like what happens when a superhero ends up on a Hollywood set, and like part of me is I'm like, oh, was damage control supposed to be not a bigger part of the Marvel project, but was it supposed to kind of fill in some of the holes that S.H.I.E.L.D. left? Because I'm like, S.H.I.E.L.D. was dealing with the big fucking universe-spanning shit, and it seems like damage control is more so about, like, how do we live in a society where metahumans are everywhere now?
Well, I do think that a portion of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s, I mean, as it's articulated in Winter Soldier, a portion of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s, their function was surveilling superpowered people. They knew where they were, right? Like, even Natasha tells Hulk in Avengers, like, we know where you are. We've been keeping our distance. Like, we respect you. Yeah, in Avengers, excuse me. It says that in Avengers. She goes like, we know where you are. We've been keeping our distance. Like, we never
keeping some interesting parties off your tail.
We never lost you. We know where you are. S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone now. So somebody got to look out for these motherfuckers, because every time this guy got a headache, fucking, he about to blow something up, right? So I think that's part of the thing. I also think that maybe, and I might shoot an email over to Kripke, I think maybe this show is just giving you a little bit of a cross commentary or a sort of alternative to The Boys. Because remember, very directly in The Boys, these superheroes become movie stars.
Right.
So very directly in The Boys, like the superheroes become movie stars, and they are known as much for their appearing in films as they are for the saves that they've made. It's interesting to imagine a world where Hollywood goes, no heroes. Because if you think about it, if they didn't do that, then eventually it would be Falcon is fucking Johnny Flyby.
Right.
Like, because they're the biggest celebrities in the world. So
to not monetize that feels...
God,
I mean, but in the Iron Man films, there was a level of them touching upon that where it's just like, what's Tony's Iron Man?
But if you also
he's a celebrity, but if something like that happened, even before, the actors in this town might do something to protect themselves.
Sure.
They might go, we don't really want power people in the union. We don't want, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they might do something to protect themselves. They might go, well, we can't take a whole group of people that are power big and celebrities in this way. And just, it would almost be the way, and people don't really realize this, how they literally hate on the influencers getting into these things.
Damn. Wait a minute. If Mystique was a Hollywood A-lister now, oh my God.
Yeah, she could do whatever she wanted.
Do whatever she wanted.
Oh yeah, you don't have to pay anybody. Nah, but that's like there's rights issues though. Like Crispin Glover, you can't do that.
Speaking of The Boys, I feel like that's interesting where it's like The Boys is a series that, because there's the one TV show, or for years there was, Eric Kripke can do a more controlled job of like showing you every aspect of the world,
and
the military industrial complex, Hollywood, everything, where it's like the MCU has the opposite problem, where it's like they like it's teaching us something about Hollywood, but it can only go so far because if it makes rules that are too damaging to the larger narrative,
they have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But I'd say that is why whenever this show feels like it has something broader or deeper to say, it reorients around Simon and Trevor.
Yeah.
Whenever the show has,
When you say broader and deeper, you mean like about like the Hollywood
No.
industrial complex? Do you mean or like
broader to the like whenever the show ends up flirting with the idea of being about having superpowers, which is something that we've seen before.
Oh yeah.
Whenever the show flirts with the idea of being about heroism, it comes back down to being pretty vapid.
Yeah.
To being like, this is actually just about somebody who, for reasons, wants to be an actor, is willing to do what it takes to be an actor. There's a whole show where they try to trick the press.
Yeah.
Which, once again,
funny.
Like
that's the
That's
boys'
good.
version of
Yeah.
this.
Funny.
Yeah, where they try to they're trying to put on airs for the press. It never gets away from the fact that what this is essentially about is like the industry and how the industry like marries to what you feel like your purpose creatively is.
I mean, even there was a point where when I realized, I'm like, oh, this is a show about a government agency tracking a black superpowered individual and trying to put him in prison. I'm like, oh, that's Luke Cage. And they kind of touch upon it, and then they kind of skirt back from it. Because like that is a very for an MCU show in 8 episodes that are 30 minutes to kind of like, because I was also like, all right, who else is damage control surveilling? Who else is gonna fill?
Well, that's the thing, right? They made him a mark because they don't have the bodies. They're gonna lose funding if they don't start putting bodies in things.
But
so,
if
like,
this was connected to Daredevil, I feel like this would be a place that Wilson Fisk would be trying to send all these motherfuckers.
that's also a good point, though. Like, why? I guess they're on the West Coast, but New York that's the hub. That's where everybody going crazy. Like, why aren't y'all over there?
Yeah, Fisk call up Cleary and be like, "Hey, yo, I got some motherfuckers for you."
Right. I know
here.
one. I know.
You don't
a
think we
lawyer
can
right
fill a
now.
prison in
Come
America?
go get him. That'd have been easy.
No. Did you not also like notice that like I took a lot of his like secrecy and him worried about being ostracized in the town as an allegory for like coming out and queer actors that are still closeted? Because I easily saw that in like the tail end of this show where I'm like, oh, this is a clear allegory for things like that.
No, not only did I see that, I think it's another interesting point where I'm like, when you're Disney and you're Marvel, I feel like you can hint at it.
You can only go so far.
But you can only go so because I was just like, to me, that scene was even more interesting because I'm like, I believe the actress was white, of a black actor dating a white actress who knows that he's hiding something but won't tell him, and then his powers getting out of control say a lot about like black men and anger and how we're perceived in the public and how we always have to be in control because you don't want to be the angry black man. But the show can never really say that. It's always just kind of like.
But the fact that it doesn't expressly say that, do you feel like it mishandles that metaphor?
No, it's not that. No, I don't think it mishandles it. It's more so sometimes where I'm like, all right, well, yeah, it's a Disney show.
I mean,
right.
or you just like subtext where like you can definitely like read onto that and like glom onto that and be like, oh, this is what that means versus something that like I don't think they're hiding it.
Subtext is for cowards.
I don't think they're hiding it.
I know writers use subtext and they're cowards.
I don't think they're hiding it, but I think like you can definitely interpret it that
look
way.
At that differently. I think subtext is actually for geniuses, and like being heavy-handed is actually for cowards, because the easiest way to get people to stand up and champion this show is to make the show expressly about a black man and all of this stuff like that. That's the way. All of this stuff, they spend an episode in this show talking about the culture that he comes from and like litigating culture in small ways. Like there's an expectation of immigrants when they come to America a lot of times to be these types of providers and it's like successful people.
Get a white collar job. It's not about your dreams.
Do the whole deal. It's not about none of
Grow
that,
up,
right? And so part of Simon's thing is he is an outlier in his family just because of what he's choosing to do. And we see that as two of his cousins or whoever they were have a conversation in front of him they think he can't understand. They think he's such an outlier
that they can't even speak.
That he doesn't speak the language of Creole that Haitians speak. And he just looks at them and goes, "You guys know I can hear you, right?" He doesn't lose his temper then. He is actually the victim of several microaggressions that entire day, and all of those microaggressions have to do with expectations of his family, partly expectations that are cultural. The only time he smiles that entire episode is in remembrance of his father when they're remembering the dish.
Yeah.
And he goes, and him and his brother have a moment where they're the same.
Oh God, him when they were singing "Happy Birthday" with the cake, and he's just like in the back looking really sad, and everybody's happy. That was like,
is that the worst? Is that the worst brother of all time?
Oh my God,
Well,
he was an asshole.
But here's
real
the thing:
asshole.
I did enjoy this, where it was like when the New York Times reporter, he's like getting nervous, and he's just like, "Yeah, me and my brother have a really complicated relationship. What did he say about me?" And she's like, "He said nothing but great things about you." And I was like, "Oh no, that is a very nuanced portrayal of an elder sibling in an immigrant family, especially when the father dies, being forced to be put into a role that strips him maybe of the things that he wanted to achieve."
Yep.
And Simon views him as like my number one op. He never believed in me. And his brother is like, "Hey, he owns up to, he's like, I didn't believe in him. I didn't see in him, but like, he deserves this. He's worked so hard." I thought that was done very well.
I agree. So Simon destroys the table or the island. The island.
His brother wanted so much.
They are not afraid of him.
Yeah.
No.
The control or his place in the family is not really what they're talking about. Think about the Twilight Zone episode about Anthony. Have y'all ever seen this? So this is Twilight Zone episode. There's an original one, and then they remake it for Twilight Zone the movie. It's about this kid who can do whatever he wants with his mind. He is telekinetic. He can fucking create anything. He's
Franklin Richards.
He's Franklin Richards, right? So a lady, her car, like it breaks down, and when her car breaks down, she meets this kid. He's in a place playing video games. In the original Twilight Zone episode, he wishes you to the cornfield. Whatever you do to him, he wishes you to the cornfield. He can do this. And when they updated it, he can do whatever. He can take your mouth away. He can do all kinds of crazy shit, right? All of them in the show are scared of him.
Yeah.
Because he's so powerful. And the only person that he ends up forming a bond with is this lady that comes in that is not afraid of him. She's a school teacher. She's used to dealing with badass kids. So she sets limits for him. She has expectations of him. She asks him questions. He's actually tired of people being afraid of him. And when I watch Simon being so strong and powerful, the rest of his family might not know, but his family does know. They don't treat him any differently.
Yeah.
They don't even attempt to like placate him or be soft with him because he could destroy them. Not even on purpose. Just by getting angry, he can. So I thought about this very deeply, just thinking of just like him being in a family where they realize that he is superpowered. They realize he's dealing with this entire secret, but give him no quarter. Mom loves him in the same indiscriminate, like unanalytical way that all mothers love babies, right? But the brother still wants more from him. Still wants more from him and doesn't care that wanting more might cause him to destroy the island. Like the culture of their family, they feel like will control Simon. Like Simon is legitimately one of the most human characters I've seen depicted, like as the lead of a Marvel show.
I also want to like give Yaya a big shout out because just like we were talking about his powers and hiding his powers can be, representative like of the queer experience. I was like, oh, I thought Yaya did a great job of, I was like, oh, is Simon potentially on the spectrum, autism or whatever? Because there's a lot of points in the show where the world doesn't understand him or how he processes information. And it takes a relationship with Trevor to be like, hey, like, how are you feeling? Let's center yourself, breathe. And I was like, oh, Yaya did such a great job of it as an actor, being able to portray what it feels like to experience the world in a different way. And people are afraid of you or treat you differently just because you're not used to communicating exactly how they communicate.
A perfect parallel of this, because I watched episodes 1 and 2, and then like for some reason I got busy and then took a break after watching the rest of them, and I got so nervous, and I thought that he was being an asshole in the first episode when he eventually got fired off of American Horror Story because he was giving so many notes. And he was like making all of these changes on set on the day in front of the AD, in front of his co-star, in front of the light people, everything. And I was like, what is he doing? He's being a dickhead. He's making all of these changes and he's not just doing his job. But his passion for those things is just not communicated well enough for those other people. And Trevor's the only person that gives him the time of day for those things.
Trevor's even like, hey, ask people about themselves. He's like, that works.
Yeah. And then he said, and he strains to remember like the AD's name, just like, Carol, what do you think about this? And it's great. It's wonderful to know that he is given that space to do those things. I think the reason that we're thinking about all these things is probably a testament to how good that show is.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, like, you have the scene at the beginning where he's trying to give notes and it just goes out poorly. Then you have the scene at episode 7 when they're in the trailer and he's like, I don't know why he say this. And then Trevor's like, what if she says it like this and then you say it like that?
Yeah.
And it all comes together.
He could have been a dick to him, but he's just like, no, try it this way.
That's why I think like the ending makes a lot of sense. Like they have to be together. You know what I mean? Like they need each other in order to succeed in the world that they've built.
This man, he found a companion. He found somebody that's his guy. He found someone that understands it's crazy. He understands his crazy. They're two outcasting together. Your man got paid. Shout out to him, the prison guard.
Yeah,
he did get paid.
He can now get out of the prison industrial complex and live his dreams with his family.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I do have to shoot Marvel some bail here. I disagree with the fans. If you watch the series, I think Wonder Man is better as a binge drop. I think
it very much is.
I think that this season, I know people are just like, damn, they be burying the shows with black leads, blah, 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 blah. I think if you watch this series, this is not a series that is like a weekly thing.
No.
It's like, this is 30 minutes. You can bang it out in like 2 days, a weekend or whatever. And like I said, I think this was the right decision for the show. I do wish that this show either would have come out sooner or Marvel seemed to have more belief in it. Because I'm like, while this show was not perfect, I would rather something like this that is like smaller, contained, knows what it is, than a show that's trying to be everything.
This is exactly what a Marvel spotlight should be. Like I point to like what is it? Oh my God, Werewolf by Night, and this of like a very concentrated and stylistically like sure-footed project that knows exactly what it's doing, at least presents like it knows what it's doing and has a very clear, distinct beginning and end point. I know that you might have griped a little bit about like the to be continuedness of the very end, but I think that it was wonderfully done. I think that this is kind of the ethos of what I've wanted Marvel TV to kind of be after like in a post Loki, post WandaVision era of like, okay, we can't do the seasonal thing, but like make one great banger thing and put it out immediately as it should be told. This is what I would love Marvel TV to be.
You didn't want Dr. Doom to show up at the end credits?
No.
I mean,
are we getting Wonder Man again? Because
he'll be back in West Coast Avengers.
Wait, in West Coast what?
West Coast Avengers.
I mean,
West Coast Avengers.
They would.
They're not doing that? I thought they were doing that.
Would they have been doing that?
Who's going to be on that
So
shit?
in 20 years, when we
Kate Bishop. Because I thought that
they
Young Avengers.
wasn't there some news that they not doing a second
Hawkeye
season?
season 2, right?
They're not doing.
I think it would make. I mean, if it was up to me, you do Young Avengers, but they're not going to do that.
Don't do. No. I usually was on your side, seeing everything. We done with the pluck. Do the West Coast Avengers.
It's over.
We're not doing Young. We're not
then,
doing
okay,
Young
but
Avengers.
then it's basically going to be. It's going to be Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. It's going to be Cassie Lang as Stature. It's going to be Kate Bishop. And then Yaya's going to be
No.
He's
Yaya, you
Vision.
got White Vision.
Vision.
All right,
Vision?
okay.
Vision, yeah.
Who else is on the West Coast? They don't got time.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wonder Man showed up in Vision Quest.
Oh, that could work.
I mean, sure,
I wouldn't
why
be-
not?
No, why would he be in Vision Quest?
I mean, I think that at some point the Great Lakes Avengers.
Great
nah,
Lakes-
we-
Great
we-
Lakes-
we-
No, Great Lakes, that's where Superman is from.
Yeah, like, so I think at some point the West Coast Avengers have to combine. I think this character will be back. I think the fact that we saw him fly at the end of it
Mhm.
means either one or two things. Either he could always fly. I don't think that that's what that means.
Or he learned to fly for Trevor.
I think that for the express purposes of breaking his friend out of jail,
The more
He learned
y'all,
to fly.
the more y'all
he
sound-
learned how to
Because Flattery
harness.
did make the joke.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
learned how to harness and control his power.
Yes.
The more we talk, man, this would have been better if it was like more like Heated Rivalry.
What?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, Slattery and
Yeah.
Man, Yaya killed Ben Kingsley.
Okay, first of all,
They get Ben.
Wait,
Ben
Kingsley-
Kingsley-
Kingsley's the bottom?
I think you're
Yeah.
making the.
I think this is reversed. This is reversed.
I don't know.
I mean,
Easily.
they can switch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't have to be.
Yeah.
But like, I would
No,
be
Trevor's
wondering-
topping for
I,
sure.
I would be wondering about the frail. Ben 82. Man,
Yeah, it's a little old. Yeah. But,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going
but
on.
that's real love.
Yeah.
It is.
I will
It
say
is.
this after Vision Quest, I disagree with you. I think they rehaul in their whole Disney Plus strategy.
Start from scratch.
It's all spotlight stuff now?
honestly don't-
I think it's all spotlight stuff.
I would be
the better.
surprised if they even do seasonal television. Like if the Punisher kind of like mini movie does what it's supposed to do, I think they're gonna do a Netflix tack where they're just
Thank
like,
God.
just put
Let me
this
tell you
out.
something. However they do it is however they do it. They are starved for things that are well received.
Yes.
This is probably not going to change the metrics and blow up Disney Plus and
Mhm.
get you 1 million new subscribers, but it is being well received.
Yeah. It's a W.
And unless Yaya gets too busy, unless all of that, they're gonna find a way to try to bring this character back. The people have responded to the character. They like the character. Marvel has not in a while had something where people just went, you know what? We can agree that is pretty good.
Oh, we had Thunderbolts.
I'm about to say
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
And all of those motherfuckers will be back.
Yeah.
So and that wasn't like a crazy runaway hit. I think for this almost like it's interesting that two of those smaller, more grounded things is kind of what people have been responding to, at least critically from Marvel. They're probably going to try to marry this with some of the spectacle that we've seen in other stuff. We'll see how Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day of the third day of the week and all of that stuff works out. But I think that Wonder Man will be back because I think that they've created an interesting character. Like, this character eventually has to decide to become a superhero.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the reason why that happens. The reason why that happens is going to be interesting.
Because he literally played him in a movie.
Like, the reason why he decides to become that is going to be interesting.
he is Wonder Man.
He's Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Like, he's Wonder Man. When people find out that Wonder Man actually has powers,
They just be like,
that
oh,
whole
Wonder
thing
Man. Yeah.
is going to be interesting.
Mhm.
Like, they've created to me like a cauldron of questions that they can actually dip into every now and
Yes.
again.
But I guess the thing that like I'm wondering is if you're most likely gonna reboot this universe after the second Avengers movie that comes out, why would you be bringing back a bunch of things that even if they were critically acclaimed, nobody watched? Why wouldn't you just kind of be like, you know what, we are
It
just
depends on what I mean. Look,
You could, because to your point, West Coast Avengers, you don't have to. You could do a soft reboot where you bring back Haley Steinfeld, you bring back Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and then fill the team with some other people that we ain't never met
DC already
before.
proved them soft reboots don't work.
well, I mean, look, we're talking about strategy now. If we think that there's if I'm not talking about strategy, I'm talking about story. I'm talking about interesting characters that seem to have some legs to them. I'll be honest with you guys. There are a lot of characters out there that are uninteresting. They're uninteresting. They've always been uninteresting. There's nothing you can do to make them interesting.
Like what?
Whatever. So like,
Name some names.
like,
I think Wonder Man is still an uninteresting character.
okay,
No,
so that's
well,
how you feel. But like what I'm saying here is, to me, when they have the opportunity to like actually have narrative success,
Mhm.
look, I'm actually over because we do both things when we talk about Marvel and all of this stuff. We talk about how does this fit into the grander scheme of things? How does this affect my doomsday ticket and all of that stuff like that?
Right.
when I say I really don't care about that at this point, I really don't care. I know that they care because they want to keep making these movies for a long time. I just would like to sit down and watch something that, if it's not perfect, is at least inspired. At least we had a story to tell, rather than the zombification of some of these movies that and TV shows that we saw for like, we get halfway through Daredevil, it's not working, let's flip it and do something all new. Well, I guess my question about something like that or any other films that we've seen is, did you not have an actual story that you wanted to tell? Was there not something that inspired you and made you want to actually have this world? I know that there was, but when you abandon it in the middle, and this is not me coming at them, I start to wonder, well, like, what's the purpose of this? To me, a take that you execute, even if you don't hit it out of the park, you can tell in the meat and potatoes of the show whether or not there was anything behind it.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I guess the thing that frustrates me more is that these TV shows ask for a lot of investment, and I just feel like it's been so many times where I'm like, it's clear Marvel was just like, this didn't work, we kicking it to the side. And I think the old way of Marvel was like, no, if you give Ant-Man 1 a try, you're gonna be rewarded. And I feel like the machine has broken down to such an extent where it's like, yeah, I watched 8 episodes of Wonder Man. I do have questions of them, like, is that 8 hours going to be rewarded? Or is it just kind of like,
were those 8 hours
not 8 hours? First of all, it's not 8 hours.
Well,
It's
not
like
8 hours,
4.
like
Okay, fine. Were those 8 episodes not rewarding by themselves?
No.
Well, then if that's
Not
the
to
case,
them, not to me.
Yeah, that's the case.
Well,
if the story doesn't work and then it doesn't advance the agenda,
well, then, like, to me, see, this is the deal. And this is it's interesting the way that we look at that. If you didn't like the show, then to me, that's the only thing that matters right now.
Yeah.
If you like the show, cool. If you didn't like the show, like, cool. But, like, whether or not you're gonna get an ROI on the time that you invested, that to me is what fucked Marvel up. What fucked Marvel up is, to me, not being dedicated to the actual thing that they were doing, and them actually being more concerned with fan service, them being actually more concerned with whether or not you would watch something and then feel like, okay, I put my time into this. Is this going to come back? Or is this bigger world building? Are we going to see, like, Werewolf by Night? We haven't heard anything about Werewolf by Night. We haven't heard anything about the Man-Thing coming back, any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. They had a unique, quirky, cool little story that they wanted to tell, and probably because they weren't concerned with, let us set this up so that we can do Midnight Suns or whatever the fuck. What is Man-Thing in? Man-Thing is in
Midnight Suns.
He's Midnight Suns.
On them.
Because they kept the main thing.
Yeah.
They got something out of it that even if it didn't reinvent the wheel, it was watchable.
But I don't disagree with you, but this is the machine they built. So there is just a level where I'm like, hey, motherfucker.
You made your bed, lie in it.
Yeah. Like,
see, but it's we can move on because we're not going to do another State of Marvel conversation. But, like, it's interesting so
when I watched Fantastic Four and I enjoyed Fantastic Four, there was a level of, it's like, for a lot of years, especially the lean years of Marvel, the promise that they gave you is like, watching all of these is important. And I don't disagree with you. I think that ended up fucking them. I just don't think what they have been producing in a vacuum where it's like, hey, this is a Marvel spotlight. It's not really connected to anything. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But then I'm going to judge it like I judge every other TV show, which is like, am I interested enough? Like, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a perfect example. After episode 1, I was just like, endlessly watchable. I want to watch the second. I want a second season. I love this. This is not me attacking Wonder Man, which I think is like on the high end of these shows. If at the end of the season, I wasn't like begging for a second season.
But, so you're saying the grading curve goes away when you know that this project is going to be more isolated than, say, an MCU movie? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is like, yo, these are theme park rides. And that's what it was pitched as when I went to the movies. I'm just like, oh, this is a part of a big project. We're going to Infinity War and Endgame. This character is going to be with this character and everybody's going to have a great fun time. I think with Spotlight, they're trying to reverse that and trying to be like, hey, we're just trying to tell a small story or whatever. So then I have to judge it by literally how I would when I was reading comic books, which is just like, hey, yo, I pick up issue 1. Do I fuck with it or not? And if I didn't fuck with it, I don't finish the 6 issues or the run or whatever.
So I'm a little lost here. So then okay, I'm not lost. I'll tell you the way I look at it. I don't know that I necessarily think about like the importance of what it is. I think maybe I did before. I think when we were changing up, let me recalibrate. Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was when the levee broke.
That's when the levee broke. Because let me tell you why. Multiverse of Madness was a film that you're supposed to go and see, or at least before it came out, and that the film would reset and recalibrate everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a movie. It was a piece of content. A piece of content that you had to watch because it was important, right? That's how it's. Then you went and you saw the movie, and I didn't really judge the movie. The movie is serviceable. I didn't judge the movie on its own. I judged the movie because we didn't get an incursion or Tom Cruise as fucking Iron Man.
Didn't matter.
The Illuminati didn't matter.
You guys didn't like Peggy Carter coming back?
Like all of those things, right? And so after that happened a couple of times, what I started to realize 2 things. The importance, quote unquote, of the project was actually a marketing tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
To get me into the theater or watching it on TV, number 1. And it was also a way for them to breadcrumb me with the smallest thing, right? And make me go, wow, at least we got that. Like Miss Marvel, the X-Men theme song, she's a mutant. Okay, doesn't matter how good the actual show was. The show established that this world has mutants and that she might be a mutant. Therefore, that makes it important. The more I think about it, the more I thought about it, that's never what made any of this stuff important. What made the stuff important early on is that Tony didn't know that Bucky killed his parents. Tony didn't know. Tony didn't know that Bucky killed his parents. So by the time we get into Civil War and Tony figures out that it's actually Buck who killed his parents, that is Cap's best friend, Cap knows. You're like, fuck.
They just beat Ultron.
What
By the way.
they're like, you're like, what the fuck do they do now? Then as a consequence of that, when an actual universal threat comes to Earth, the Avengers are fractured. So all of the actual story that existed before, the actual happenings between these people that existed before, the fact that Thor had gone through all of this stuff, was off-world, all of that, the actual happenings, they were able to take those things that you actually cared about, put them back into a story that made these characters have to litigate all of this stuff, talk about all of this stuff, get over all of this stuff, have to repair their relationships before they save the world. That's really what made the stuff important. What made the stuff important was that there was a bedrock and a foundation for it. Now, post-Endgame, what made it important is those characters are actually gone now, right? So, like, what makes it important now is the construction of Saga. They could never get it right. They could never get that right. They could never make the Saga construction more important than the fact that they weren't giving us characters that we loved. And if they change that, I'm here for it.
But here's the thing. But when I mean like kind of the return on investment of like even seeing a movie maybe I don't necessarily fuck with is like Captain America is a perfect example. I don't necessarily like First Avenger, but like as a comic book fan, I'm just like, oh, I kind of know where Bucky, are they going to do Winter Soldier? So it's like when you see the turn that Bucky makes in Winter Soldier and then they deviate from the comic books and they're just like, oh, Bucky killed Iron Man, like all of that stuff. I'm like, hey, all of this didn't need to be perfect, but because they got the characters right, when the characters are like meeting everybody else as a comic book fan, I'm like, hell
That's
fucking yeah.
that's the magic.
To bring your thoughts together, I think you like did a pretty good job. The return on investment is seeing all these characters interact and seeing them come together. Over the last 5 years, we don't see that.
If a character doesn't work, they kind of abandon it. They're like, y'all didn't fuck with it.
And it's because in the early days they were present with the stories that they were going to tell first, and then that was just a little tiny cookie at the end of that road.
I mean, maybe,
to
but
make
like,
connective tissue.
who we've seen Adrian, right? Like of the last couple of projects. After that, who's like come back? Who's been movie after movie?
I feel what
We
y'all
don't
saying.
have that.
I think what I'm saying is that like the first thing you have to do is just make a compelling character.
Yeah.
Make a character that you wonder about. That you wonder,
Man,
what's gonna happen next? Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, all of these people, even if the movies weren't perfect, the circumstances that they were in, to me, were story first.
Right.
And like, even if they didn't, maybe Iron Man 1 isn't story first. Maybe that's just a Frankenstein movie that's pulled together by one hypermagnetic performance.
Basically perfect.
That you know what I mean? But once we got after Endgame, the question was, now how can we top this?
Yeah.
And the only way that we could top it was to go big to small. And they never really did that. Like they would always go smaller to larger. The Avengers don't get along. They can't get along. That movie is about them becoming friends, right? And trusting each other. I think when I saw this, I went, okay, this didn't reinvent the wheel, but I think I care about Simon.
Yeah,
I think I care about Simon. I think I care about Simon and Trevor.
Yeah.
I think I want to know what they're going to do next. So if they pop up in something 2 or 3 months from now, I'm going to wonder, has he developed new powers? On there on the run? Is he still in Hollywood? Did the whole world realize that he had powers by this happening? Slattery has been broken out of jail. He's a fugitive again.
Mhm.
Is Simon using his powers to protect him? Is he gonna come back and do Wonder Man 2? Like what? Like
I
all
mean,
of that
even
stuff.
if I'm not as invested in the story, I think I'm invested in Yaya.
He was great.
Because
very
I'm just
good.
like, oh, to me, he gave me that feeling of like, and he's been in a lot of these movies where I'm like, oh no, this is a fucking skill. You're charming. You can carry this.
Definitely.
If I saw him in a movie, I would be like, man, fucking how? Like,
Yeah.
I'd be
Oh, yeah.
so serious. I was like, the thing that kept me glued is I'm just like, if you get 2 great performers in this, how mad could you really
and a
be?
third with Joey Pants.
Joey Pants.
Joey
fucking Pants.
Joey Pants.
All right, Midnight Meter, guys. Y'all know what it is. 1 to 12, 1 being the worst, 11 and 12 being reserved for game changers. We are going to start. We're going to go this way, starting with you, Van. What are you giving Wonder Man?
A 9.
Okay.
I think I'm giving it a 9. It's a 9 to me.
Okay. Sure. I'm gonna go with a 7. We'll go with a 7. Think this is the easiest 7 I've ever given.
7's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. I don't think it's got like really low lows, but I also don't think it's got crazy high highs. So I got to roll with a 7. Very consistent.
Strong 8 for me. Very strong 8.
Yeah.
This was wildly impressive after not knowing anything about it, and some really, really great performances here.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna give it a 6, but shout out
Okay.
Marvel.
There you
Like,
go.
hey man, learn lessons from this. I think this had keep these shows 30 minutes, get really compelling stars, keep it small, make the show look beautiful, and I'm not gonna be too.
Stay on your shit. Stay on your shit. So Marvel begins the year with a decent offering, a sign of things to come.
Hopefully.
I'll tell you what's a sign of things to come. Motherfucking He-Man, motherfuckers.
All right. Wrap this
I
up.
can't watch.
Wrap
I'm going
this
to be
up.
there. I promise you guys something right now. When do
Jesus
He-Man come out?
Christ.
When do He-Man come out?
June?
What's the date?
Let's see. It might be June.
Are we even covering it?
Look up when He-Man comes out. I'm promising something
It
right
will
now.
be.
Honestly,
we will be
you-
covering
June
it.
5th,
June 5th.
2026.
Hey,
Solo,
This is-
Van Solo.
Hey,
That,
this
yup.
is a promise
ISO.
to all of the ladies and, the fellas.
Okay.
The ones.
Shout out She-Ra.
When we do the He-Man pod, I'm coming to the pod dressed like He-Man. I'm talking about
Titties out.
titties out, the whole
Okay.
joint.
All right.
I'm gonna wear the mask. I got the hair. I got the sword. I'm gonna come in the loin kind of thing.
Bozeman is Battle Cat. You get
Bozeman
him?
is Battle Cat.
Gotta bring Bozeman in for both.
I'm doing
Battle
it
Cat.
in character. I'm coming as He-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's me.
I'm
Sword,
Skeletor.
the whole nine. Skeletor, Battle Cat.
Both make Bozeman Battle Cat. Why do I gotta be Battle
You man
Cat?
at arms.
Yeah, you man at arms.
I don't know what any of these words mean.
Like I'm gonna get in the gym from now until June. And the whole purpose, James at Equinox, the whole purpose, I'm gonna start after this week because I got dinner on Wednesday with the homies. I'm going in. The whole purpose is to look good for my He-Man fit. He-Man.
We're gonna hold you to
in June.
Can you get the bob?
Yeah, I'm got the whole thing. How many months is that?
June? That's 5?
5 months?
Oh shit.
Aggressive cut.
A lot of game
A
left.
real cut.
No, but you got to start with the bulking process.
Well, I'm on the creatine right now.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
on the
It's the
creatine.
cutting. It's the cutting process. That's the.
When you cut, do you get off the creatine?
I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
Okay, I don't know.
No, because I thought creatine you hold a lot of water, don't you?
Yay, I think that's what it does.
Yeah,
right?
this is what I'm holding. I'm holding the sword.
I'm
And I
holding
can't
the
wait.
sword.
I can't
what?
wait. Yeah, you heard what I said. I'm not scared of that, Jomi. You can't do that to me. I apologize.
I will say, Nick looked at you crazy, bro.
That was so
that was-
funny.
That was
You guys ever seen that? What's his name? That Iron Eagle clip? Oh man, like this. So this.
that was funny.
What are you
That
talking
was
about?
funny. That was hilarious. Y'all got it. I wish, man, we love you guys so much. We wish y'all could hang out with us sometimes.
We should
it's a
live.
sight
We
to
should
see.
live
We should
stream that
live
shit,
stream.
bitch.
That was funny. That was
Disgusting.
funny. Nick was disgusted. Shout out Nick May. Nick was disgusted. All right, that's
you,
a
Nick.
wrap. This week on the Ringerverse feed, we gave you guys a bonus episode. We appreciate the producers for sticking around for a while. Dev, Aleya, thank you. On Sundays, Talk the Thrones is back with Mal, Joanna, and Chris, returning back to Westeros for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Thursday, Button Mash continues their coverage of Fallout Season 2. We also are going to be back next week with more coverage for Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Hell fucking.
Yep.
I have to do this.
Gotta
We don't
do
get
it.
to talk about stuff like this on this show. We talk about a lot of stuff that happens in fantasy worlds, this other places and stuff like that. Your world is not a fantasy. It's not a fantasy. Your world is real. And the ramifications and consequences for decisions that society makes in your world could be permanent. We can't control what Stan Lee or Jack Kirby wrote or created in the 60s. We can't control what Superman does or what Batman does. But this society, we make it. We created this society, and we're creating it every single day. We're created with choices that we make at the ballot box, with choices that we make and how we treat each other. This world is your responsibility. It's not a fantasy. It's not fandom. It's you. It's me. It's everyone here. It's everyone watching. It's everybody that's helping us out. So if you see something in your world that you don't like, Superman isn't coming. Batman isn't coming. Wonder Man isn't coming. Nobody is coming. The only one that can change it is you. Take the responsibility.
Hell yeah.
All right. Our producers today are Aleya, Zenieris, Devon, Jomi Adeniran, hashtag Jomi has power. Jomi has the power. Oh my God. Hashtag Jomi Catfish Town. Additional production from Arjuna, Ramgopowell. Chuck, take us out.
That He-Man trailer sucked. Y'all got a lot of charm. And shout out my favorite restaurant, Mendocino.